Hello, good evening, and welcome to Hack the Dino Gaming Cast, where we bring you the past, present, and future of video games, news, previews, and discussions, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we feel like talking about whenever we do. I am the man with the mouth, many mouths. In fact, I've got so many mouths, they just call me a giant hole. That's right, I'm a hole, Ben Rosenthal, and I'm here with Team ABZ. That was supposed to sound like A2Z. But anyway, Zak Sabbath is joining us here tonight.
How's it going, everyone?
Zak is filling in for Floppy and Braden because they both had better things to do. It's called Terminator 2 at this sophomore Enmore.
Yeah, I bought a ticket for that.
What,
and then
really?
I found out I was working night shift, so I couldn't go.
Oh, geez, what a pity.
So there's an empty seat there with my name on it. I'm so sad, but at least I got to support him.
And Anto's here behind the keys again. How's it feel back behind the driver's seat, Anto?
Confusing, distressing, stressful, and all sorts of other awkward that we still haven't quite figured out how things sound yet.
So, I noticed my levels just went way up then, so I'm just going to lean back from the mic a bit. I have this community service announcement. Now, here at Hack the Dino, we like to have lots of fun, lots of games, keep it live, keep it interesting. Many different personalities on here, many different things, different feelings, different ways people interact with us. Really appreciate it. If you don't like it, that's okay. To quote a great man, off is the direction you can fuck. So, Zak, what's been going on? What's been happening?
Yeah, love the rock quotes there, Ben.
I did warn you.
Yeah, excellent.
That's seriously a great quote, though.
It is. It was great. I love it. I love Hill Rock. It's the best. Yeah, I've been good. I'm currently a single dad because my wife's living her dream of trying to become a professional wrestler in Japan. So that's what I've been doing.
And she's kicking ass.
She is. She's doing really well. It's been a good time.
You were mentioning before that she's in a horror film coming up.
Yeah, she's an extra. The gym or the dojo, I should say, that she's training at, it's called Ice Ribbon. They have a movie, like a B-grade horror movie being filmed at the dojo, and she used a bit of the gift of the gab to get put in as an extra. So it's a movie about wrestlers who turn into zombies. So that should be interesting.
Wrestlers who turn into zombies.
Yeah,
If
so it's
there's
a
a
zombie.
difference.
It's a zombie horror film with wrestlers.
And speaking of wrestling, I know you didn't want to come on here and speak about wrestling because your life is pretty much 24 wrestling, but we like talking about wrestling here.
Yes, it is. I actually haven't wrestled in months. It's been a long time.
Is that because of the powerlifting, or you just not
no,
being...
I couldn't make the last show because my brother-in-law got married.
Oh, that's selfish.
I know, right? So I wasn't. That was at Big Shed too. So I really bummed out. It was like a crowd of 450 plus. It was a huge show. It was massive.
See, I couldn't make that show because I obviously had a sore neck after Nick did. But it's feeling a lot better. Might have to take some safety precautions next show on the 18th. So come along. If you're there.
Russell Ben right now. Make up for it. Yes, put it to the table.
No,
I mean, there
am
is
the
a trestle
table.
table in front of you. It would work.
That's dangerous. On Michael Townsend live chat just wants Zak to wrestle me. That's dangerous on two levels. One, because Zak is a very good wrestler. Second, because Zak is also a very accomplished martial artist. So those two things together lead to Ben no likey.
Come on, let's have a razzle.
No, Anto. Hi. So distraction, Anto.
Hello, everyone.
What have you been doing to distract Zak from wanting to hurt me and snap me like the twig I am?
Well, we're going to talk stuff that I've been playing because it's kind of all I do other than work, exist, and play video games.
I'd like to not do one of those things. Guess which one?
Exist?
Yes!
Well, have I got the tips for you?
Yeah, I can do something about that as well.
Yeah. Let's distance ourselves from a topic of unaliving.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just been sort of catching up on stuff. Now I've got a bit of time and extra finances. I'm no longer paying rent in two places, which is lovely.
That would help.
Yeah, it's great. I'm about to disappear for a week to Mount Barker as of tomorrow morning. So yeah, I've been catching up with friends, playing some video games. Still not done with 7 Rebirth. Not going to talk about it much longer because I know people get sick of it. I've been playing a lot of Remnant from the Ashes, PlayStation 4 title. It's effectively...
It's a weird sounding cricket game.
It's effectively Dark Souls meets Gears of War. Is probably the best way to put it.
Sports ball.
Shut up, Ben.
Sports ball? What?
Remnant of the Ashes.
Oh, the Ashes.
Cricket game.
Oh, see, I don't care, which might surprise people because I'm English.
Yeah. Okay. No, I've just been told by the Sports Authority that it is a cricket game. So
It's not a cricket game. The Sports Authority can fuck off.
yep. Anto, they said you're wrong.
That's fine. I'm happy to be wrong. So yeah, playing Remnant. I've jumped back into Final Fantasy 14 because there's a new expansion coming out in 2 months. So just doing some cleanup and started PvP, which was terrifying. And Game Club, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yes, we will. Much like my life, I haven't really been playing much apart from what we have done on Game Club, which we'll talk about at a later time. But I have picked up some cool little things, both post Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair and Super Retro Hunt. So, not Super Retro Hunt, Super Retro Squad. That's the one. So, Super Retro Squad, in case you haven't heard of or seen it or watched it, is a channel I do with friend of the show, Ghost Games Julian, where I go out at, so I pick Julian up at 5:15 every Sunday morning, and we are at the markets by 6 a.m. And we go to 2 or 3 markets and some garage sales and pick up some goodies. So what I got first up was this Sony PlayStation Classic for $15.
Jesus.
Was going to keep it. Then I saw how much they're going for online. Zach, any idea how much these PlayStation Classics are going for now?
150.
Close, 120.
Yeah, still pretty good for $15. Can't argue with that.
So, I mean, I haven't tested it yet, so I should probably plug it in and give it a go.
Maybe.
But I was talking to a friend of mine, and he says they're extremely easy to hack as well.
Oh, it's in the give it the old chip.
Yep, give it to the old
very
additional
easy
games.
to mod. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
good, mate. I had a chip PS1. That was so I started on Sega, had an N64, and then eventually I moved on to the PlayStation 1, and the amount of hours I put into that bad boy as a child, and it was chipped as well, and had a guy who had like just wall-to-wall collection of all the different PS1 games. So I had access to literally the entire library of
Amazing.
PlayStation 1 games. It was great. Remember playing the Dragon Ball Z game, which you could only get in Japan.
Yep.
That was awesome. Obviously, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, which is better than Final Fantasy 7. I'll die on this hill.
I'd
Final
fight
Fantasy
you if I
9.
didn't know I would lose immediately.
I will die on this hill. It was the better game. All right? It was the better game.
I disagree.
Story was better. Characters were
wasn't.
better. It was better. I'll
The
die
story's
on this
not
hill.
better if you assume... Like, the story's only better if you assume that Squall dies at the end of Disc 1 and the rest of the game is a dream.
No. Never.
It's the
Good
only
game.
way it makes sense.
FF8, yes. Kawaii Hardcore. My ride or die. They will die on this hill with me.
Look,
It's a great game.
I won't deny it's amazing. It's just not objectively a better video game.
I disagree.
Do you know what is
Anyway.
a better game?
9
Chrono
is
Trigger.
objectively a better game than
Chrono
both.
Trigger is good.
It's a great game. It's right there. $1,100 sitting
Yes,
in your face.
love the PlayStation 1. I also completely forgot to talk about what the games I've been playing.
That's right. No, we haven't come to you yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
So this is how we are now. We just shoot the breeze.
Excellent.
But I remember on chip consoles, I do have a chip console actually in there as my playable console.
Oh, heck yeah.
So that's chipped in there. I remember going to a garage sale once and picking up a PlayStation console. It was just there. And I said, "Oh, do you have any games?" And I went, "Oh, yeah, it's right next to it." And it was just a CD folder.
Yep.
And I opened it up and they're all bent. And I went, "Oh, how much is it?" And they went, $10. And I went, "Okay,
What?
here you go." Yeah, $10. This is a couple of years ago. Anyway, I took it to King Kaiju's house. And he he goes, "Oh, you sure it's chipped?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, it might be soft mod. It might not actually be chipped." So he got one of his Japanese games out and put it in and it played fine. And I still remember sitting there looking at him and he just looks over at me, gets up, walks to his game room, comes back with a boxed Game Boy Lime and said, "Oh, I'll swap you for this."
Did you do the swap?
Absolutely I did. It was a boxed Game Boy. But yeah, chip PS1s, they were sort of like the mythical item growing up. They were like, yeah, chip PS1s, chip PS2s, and modded Xboxes, original Xboxes.
So I had a mate with a modded Xbox. I didn't even know you could chip a PS2. And I thought, again, I was a poor kid. So me having a PS1, I thought everyone had a chip PS1. So I did not realize until just now that that was a rare thing.
Absolutely. That was like, oh, he's got a chip. Oh, wow, how'd you get that? And like sometimes I had to bring him in or send him overseas. There was only one or
Yeah,
two people who
right.
actually did it. Dan McGuinness used to tell the tale of there was a guy he knew through a guy, as Dan McGuinness does. And you went to his place and you gave him some money and he'd go out the back and then he'd come out with a folder with just the slip covers, and you'd pick one or two of them, pay the money. He'd go, all right, come back in an hour, and then you come back in an hour, and he'd give you the games that you chose.
Yeah, right.
All right, So what have you been playing, Zach?
Right. Well, I've been on a bit of a survival game buff at the moment. So I love survival games. I used to be a sweaty PvP and Ark Survival Evolved on PS4 back when it couldn't run worth a damn. But I've been enjoying some indie games, which indie games are the way of the future, in my opinion.
I completely agree.
So the one I've been streaming, I've been streaming a couple lately. So the one I was streaming for a good while, which I've got about 250, 300 hours in, is 7 Days to Die, which is a block builder zombie survival game. So it's like Minecraft, but with real zombies, guns, and everything else. And we're playing the original version, which is about to get its version 1 release because it's been in early access for a while. And we've been playing the modded version, which is called the mod's called Darkness Falls, which adds a whole different kettle of a whole slew of things.
Like Darkness?
Like demons, zombies, stuff like that.
The band, The Darkness?
Yeah, just a little thing called love. But yeah, it's the mod's made by one dude, and like the amount of stuff and assets that he adds to it all by himself is absolutely ludicrous. But it's a really, really cool game. Everything is destructible and buildable. Absolutely every...
This looks like Blood or Heretic, or those types of first-person type games.
Yeah, I reckon there's probably a bit of that influence. But yeah, because it's a block builder, literally every block in the game, whether it be terrain, buildings, all of it's either breakable or craftable. So the entire world can be like built from the bedrock up. It's also got a random gen mode as well, so you can just get a random map besides the OG thing. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Really cool game. I've also been playing a game called Another Crab's Treasure, which is crustacean Dark Souls. It's a real breath of fresh air because it looks very kind of kid friendly, but it's not. All the jokes are, I love this game. It's only like 12 hours long, 18 hours if you want to be a completionist. The combat's very Dark Soulsy. Everything is a crustacean pun. Like instead of swearing, they say shulk. What the crab, stuff like that. And the best part, the story of this game is very simple. You're just a hermit crab who's isolating himself because he's feeling a bit down in the dumps. And then a toy shark head comes up and takes your shell due to tax evasion. Because some duchess, some big crab has moved in and decided that everyone needs to start paying taxes. And you try to pay with what their health pots are. And said, no, our currency is microplastics because the reef's so polluted. They think garbage is... What's that?
It's a bit on the nose.
It is. So you can see it's all rubbish and nets and everything. So the reef is so polluted that they think that the crustaceans have adjusted to living in this polluted landscape, and they think microplastics are now... It's like bottle caps and Fallout. It's their currency. So the souls in this are microplastics.
Do you know what is good about souls? Is that when they escape, they float up into heaven.
Yeah, okay.
And if you look closely at Anto's cam, you can see a slice of heaven.
Oh, so you can.
Just above him. So we don't want to give away the secrets of the afterlife. So if Anto wants to adjust his camera offset, we'll continue on with the podcast.
No. Bit of the rapture will be fine. But yeah, it's a really, really cool game. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The boss fights are fun. The characters are funny. The puns are great. And it's got baby mode too, so even Ben can play it.
Sweet.
There's literally an option in it, so you can turn down the difficulty. You can make the parry times easier, the dodge times easier, and you can literally say, "Give Crab a gun," and because you find different shells and they give you different powers and whatnot, and he literally his shell becomes a gun that just one taps everything.
Sweet.
So it's just a random meme that you can do.
So what you're saying is it's an accessible game about crab tax evasion and home repossession.
Yes.
Sounds great.
Yes, it is so good. The combat's, it's such a good game. I cannot stress that enough. It's on Game Pass. I highly recommend anyone and everyone check it out. It's It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. If you like Dark Soulsy combat, but with a fun twist, doesn't take itself seriously, check it out. And now the one that I really want people to check out is a game called Core Keeper.
You're crabbing me.
So Core Keeper it's a survival game. It's it's pixel art, very Stardew Valley. But it's so pretty much your adventure gets sucked down. You touch an idol, you get sucked. You get teleported to another world.
Stop saying sucks.
No, don't.
Fuck. So yes, Core Keeper. I love pixel art. I know Ben loves pixel art as well.
Oh yeah.
So this game is absolutely gorgeous. The music's gorgeous, and it's just this giant random gen map that you just gotta survive, explore, mine, and there's all these epic boss fights with each of them has different mechanics. It is such a cool game.
Crafting. Why'd they have to be crafting?
Because it's a survival game, Ben.
Can't you just put gold mode on?
No,
see,
the whole point
I'm
is
sort of with Ben
survival.
on
You
the-
build a base, you farm.
I'm sort of with Ben on the crafting thing. Like, it has been so done to death and shoved into so many games now. It's getting.
It's not
tired.
realistic. It's just annoying.
It's a survival game.
Yeah.
The crafting and farming it's literally Stardew Valley with like epic boss fights.
I'm an old man and I've survived. I've never crafted a damn thing. I'm lucky if I can
that's-
craft bread on
That's
toast.
not true. You're a coffee guy.
That's true. I've also got a daughter, so I crafted something at some point.
Listen here, you uncultured swines. This game is an absolute masterpiece. The music, the pixel art, the crafting is super easy to follow. But yeah, the fact that you get rewarded for your exploration. So if you like Terraria, if you like Stardew Valley, you'll definitely love this. The boss fights, each one is unique and epic. And when you beat it, it feels like a real accomplishment. And what's really cool is when I first started streaming this, when this release, because it's in early access, it's about to come out of early access in winter here in Australia. The publishers actually jumped into my stream, and because they were going by all the people, they were hopping into all the streams of the people streaming the game, and they were like having a chat and getting feedback and stuff like that, which was
That's rad.
It was super cool. And they invited me to their Discord. And they
I thought you said they invited me to dinner.
no, they invited me to Discord, and they immediately made me put me in the affiliate program.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I don't get anything, by the way, for plugging this game. So don't have a code to give away or anything. But they just said I get access. So I pretty much just get access to content before anyone else.
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry, that was the internet police. You're in trouble.
I love this game so much. I actually bought 2 copies of the game to just give away to random viewers on my stream.
Oh wow!
Just because I want more people to enjoy this game.
So this is just on Steam at the moment.
Yes. But it's coming out on Switch, PS, PlayStation, Xbox. It's releasing on everything.
Oh cool.
So you can imagine this on Switch would be just a great time.
Yeah, I might give it a crack actually.
It's so much fun. And playing with friends is even better. And what really is one of the things they've done really well with this is that they've kept the world saves and the character saves separate. Mm-hmm. So you can have your character that you've leveled up, and you can jump into your world, your friends' worlds. You just have multiple different worlds with different difficulty settings.
Sorry, so the worlds are randomly generated, or you
Yes.
make them?
No, they're random generated.
Sweet.
But yeah, you can craft whatever you want, build whatever you want. It's awesome. But yes, strongly recommend Core Keeper. Love it. I'll stop rambling on about it now.
No, ramble. Rambling's good. That's what
Ramble
we do
all you
here.
like.
We ramble on. One of the things I forgot to ramble about was this foot soldier right in front of me. This is
Is that it packaged?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that OG?
It's OG 10 back. So for those of you who don't know, when the Ninja Turtles were released, only 10 figures were initially released, and you can see them on the back. And they're referred to as a 10 back because it's the first series release, or the first release of these figures. So far, I now have 4 out of the 10.
So when did that drop?
That was 1989.
That's crazy. That is as old as I am.
Yeah.
That's
So
in crazy condition for being that old.
Yeah.
Not wrong. That's nuts.
this is sort of my high-end collecting. These aren't cheap, but I did rather well at the... Anto did rather well for me at the
Thank
toy
you.
fair. I was selling all my expensive pieces of
I
cardboard.
think I made you, without going into too many numbers, it was a 4-figure number.
Yep.
over the course of the 6 hours we were there.
And I appreciated it because I got a foot soldier. So yeah, I'm almost halfway collecting the 10 original Turtles.
That's huge.
On card. So I'm very, very happy about that. Right, moving right along. It's time to talk about a thing called the Retro Challenge for charity. Zach, do you want to give us the rundown of what the I was about to say Zach show?
I dare Zach, like Michael Towns, I dare Zach to slowly open it while Benners watches. No way. No way. I have more respect than that.
Yeah, and I think you'll find I have the internet police on hand, so Zach will behave himself. For the podcast listeners, I've got a giant old red phone.
You probably should have mentioned that.
I was wondering when you were going to specify what the extra noise was.
See, listen, I'll prove it. Listen to this. Hey, old people, time to get thrown back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you remember that? There's some grandma ASMR for you.
To Grandma Samar.
Grandma Simone.
I'm getting nervous because last time I heard this, I had to call a girl's house that I liked, and I was worried her parents were going to answer, and I had to talk to them.
Mate, that takes me back.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police.
Anyway, so I've just been getting calls throughout the show on my red phone. So if you hear me talk to people, that's
No
that's
one
what that
calls
is.
Ben.
That's true.
It's all text messaging now.
Anyway, Retro Challenge for charity. Zach, what is it?
Right, it's a retro challenge for charity.
Correct.
Over to you, Ben.
Thank you.
All right, so the Hack the Dino crew started off with $20. So first of all, what's really disappointing is how Ben is not losing his mind this time for charity. So boo, Ben. Boo, Ben.
No, all right. Can I just... All right. Anto,
Hello.
last year when we were doing the Retro Challenge,
Yes.
how did you feel whenever I'd bring up what I'd bought and sold and traded and got each week? How were you feeling about the Retro Challenge?
As in, as someone who was competing with you?
Yes,
or,
yeah.
Dismayed, distraught, destroyed,
Yeah.
disheveled,
Yep.
dishonored.
Lots of D. Anto loves D, and we'll talk about D all the time.
Yeah,
D,
I can't
your good
help
friend
it.
D. Hermberg, you know.
What?
D. Hermberg. It's your good friend D. Hermberg, who's a big supporter of the show. Shout out to D. Hermberg.
Shut up, Ben. You're D. Hermberg.
Anyway, my point being, I decided to pull back because, I sort of destroyed everyone last year.
That's because you have a problem. You have an addiction.
Well, part of that word's right.
I mean, look, to justify last year as far as my competitive streak is concerned, I was on nights for 7 months of last year.
You were.
So I was dead for a good portion of 2023.
So, no, I just decided, I'm going to give him a head start.
Okay.
And Floppy's taken that, and he's ran.
Yes, okay. I'm actually interested to see what updates Floppy has. So, yeah, they're doing the same things they did last year. The difference is at the end of the year, everyone's going to come back with one item or one item only. And us as the viewers are going to vote as who has the coolest item. They're then going to sell those items and give that money to charity, which is Beyond Blue.
Yes.
Love Beyond Blue. Mental health is an important thing. I, too, have done fundraising for Beyond Blue as well. It's a good cause. Yeah, how'd it go?
So I sold, I think I spoke about this last time, I sold my Goosebumps board game that I got for $5, sold it for $50.
Heck yeah.
So I currently have just over $70 in my kitty to play with.
Nice.
I'm pulling a Floppy because last year I didn't do any deals sort of like buying something off someone I knew. I sold to people I knew, not you, of course. Remember in the live show when Floppy goes, "Oh, how many people have bought something off Ben this past year?"
Yeah.
And almost put up their hands. Calm down.
Yeah, but that's fine, because Zach one-upped everyone by being like, Anto, what do you want for your figure?
Yeah, I did. My friend absolutely loved that toy, by the way.
Excellent. I'm glad it went to someone who really appreciates it.
Yeah, so Floppy, as far as I know, has been wheeling and dealing with his vast network of people because it is for charity, and one thing Floppy does very well is talk. So Arceus 1980. So from what I'm hearing, Ben gets around. Not at all. God, with this
The
face.
dusty old skeleton.
Jesus. No, so I sold that. Floppy's been dealing with people he knows, so I've gone, right, gloves are off. We can go to people we know. So I will be starting that endeavour.
Do you know what the best part is?
Yeah.
I have done no work, and I still have $20, so I'm doing great.
But, I mean, even at the end, like, even if you just have that $20, that's $20 to charity, which is also...
I've been doing a little bit of work myself as far as, like, in-person shopping and research goes. Like, I've been dipping into charity shops here and there and checking out sort of cashies whenever I'm in the vicinity of one.
Next year, let's make that a rule. Like, you have to get it from a charity.
You have to actually go somewhere
You actually have to
find it.
No, you have to buy something from a charity shop.
Dylan, are you feeling particularly mean this evening? I'm never always bringing up the rear. How dare you?
I was going to say something then. I'm not going to. Moving on.
For anyone watching, Dylan has just said I'm in last place, effectively, which is kind of true.
Well, there are no last places when charity's involved.
But if there was a last place, I'd be in it, and that's fine.
Well, if there was a place winning, which there is, but Floppy would be in first because not only... So Floppy started out buying... for $20, his initial $20, he bought the Land Before Time puppets that came out.
I had those as a
Hut.
kid.
Yep. So did I. He ended up selling them, I think, for $40, so he doubled his money.
Nice.
Then for that $40, he bought 4 Nintendo games, 2 of which were rather rare. I think he got Advance Wars in one of them, or Advance Wars 2. And
He bought Animal Crossing.
Yep.
And it came with Advance Wars...
That's right.
Dual Strike, the first DS release. And I think the other one was like Super Mario Bros.
Yeah. So anyway, he sold that and ended up getting $100. Used that $100 to buy a original, complete, really good condition Hero Quest from a friend.
That's nuts.
Yoshi Touch and Go. Thank you, Julian.
And he's just sold that. So I'm thinking, I'm not quite sure, but I think he'd be on about $250, $300 right now.
Yeah, because Hero Quest is not cheap.
No. I mean, it's gone down a bit since they re-released it. But no, and it's a really cool game. I play it with Sean Fuster a bit.
Yes.
But yeah, great game. So at the moment, Floppy's doing really well, which is great. It's good for everyone. Apart from me, who likes winning. But year's not even halfway over yet. And there's one thing I am, it's good with knives. Anyway, let's talk Nintendo. Should we talk Nintendo? Let's talk Nintendo.
Do we have to? Like,
I was literally about to say the same thing.
kind of all we do.
All right, I'll talk Nintendo, and these two jerks will shut up and listen.
Nah, I'm happy to talk Nintendo. Let's do it.
Like, Nintendo needs to calm down. This past week, Nintendo's just gone, oh, what, we've been quiet for a half a year? Oh, well, how do you like this then? So let's start it off with the prototype Super Famicom that was up for auction. Did you see this, Zach?
No.
I don't know if we've got a picture there, Anto, but someone had in Japan found or
The
owned...
picture has been removed.
Oh, okay. Can you quickly do a Google search? I'm pretty sure there'll be a picture somewhere.
I can indeed. Give me 2 seconds.
Basically, someone found a prototype of the Super Famicom, which is, of course, the Super Nintendo over here, and put it up for auction on Yahoo Auctions. It started off at like $3,000, which, you know, not bad at all. It got pulled down probably 2 days ago. The amount that it was at before it got cancelled was $3.5 million Australian.
Yeah, right. Why did it get pulled down?
I think there may have been some suspicious bids, or it could have just been Nintendo going, hey, it's going on. You got some of our property there. That's not it.
Is it not?
That is not it.
Oh, interesting. That's the prototype.
That's the
1988
I'd say that's the
variations
Super
one.
Nintendo Junior one.
No, it's a Super Family on it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hang on,
that
let
is
me
not
find the
one.
right one.
It looks basically like our Super Nintendo, but with a red power switch. When you see it, it also had a headphone jack and a volume dial on the side, as well as an expansion port on the front instead of underneath the console.
You mean this one?
Nope.
What?
That's the one you showed before.
No, it's not.
Oh,
No,
hang on, it's a
not.
different
totally
angle. Sorry. Yeah, no, sorry, it's at a wrong, different angle.
Senile.
Arceus in the comments said if you look up The Verge, they've got an article on it.
We'll do that then.
But that would have been very cool to have. I would have liked to own that. Zach, would have you liked to have owned that?
No.
Why not?
because I'm not a fan. I'm not a huge fan of Nintendo. Nor do I collect video games. I collect stuff.
What do you
Shout out to
collect?
my beautiful wife because she's found me a bunch of Beyblades. I collect Beyblades and swords.
Man, do you know how many Beyblades I see out? And
Really? I see none.
Really?
None. There was absolutely none at the Comic and Toy Fair.
That's the one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, same thing. Just the expansion port was open in that last photo.
Yes.
Do you collect the Tarzos and all that as well?
No,
Or just
I don't do
Beyblades?
Tarzo. So I'm looking for the original 2001 release
Okay.
of the Beyblades. If they're boxed, then awesome. So someone actually, it was actually a good friend, Pontip, who hooked me up with the launcher and the original Dragoon from 2001.
Yeah, right.
So I've got that. I'm also collecting, I collected the Pro Series of the Burst Beyblades, but my beautiful wife, because they start in Japan and the toy production over there is so much better, our Pro Series, because the rest of the ones that are released in the West are trash. They're absolute garbo. So yeah, she's hooked me up with some re-releases of two of the main ones from the original series for costed like $30 AUD.
yeah.
And she found a toy store that has secondhand Beyblades in bags, and they're all like $6 each. So she just got me a bunch of complete Beyblades, and my
awesome.
collection is like tripled
Amazing.
because my wife's in Japan.
See, that's why you moved to Japan.
Yeah, just no.
Speaking of Japan, that's where Nintendo is. And Nintendo recently announced, because, there was no Switch things at all coming out. We've got the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Did you either of you see this?
I did.
No. What?
So it is... Anto, explain what it is.
The NES World Championships, like the original or the re-release they're doing?
No, the original was a competition where people went up on stage and played...
It's a gaming comp, like esports.
Yeah, basically. But for
Yeah, it was
Nintendo's...
the origin point of esports.
Did you ever see The Wizard
With Fred Savage.
and the Power Glove?
It's so bad.
It was a commercial for Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, it really was.
Then no.
Oh, okay, no. Well, anyway, yeah, it's basically esports. But yeah, they had that, and they have just brought out a Switch version of it, where it's basically... Remember NES Remix on the DS?
No.
Okay, it was basically a bunch of mini games, like
Right.
WarioWare, but using Nintendo's
Oh, yes, I remember WarioWare.
Yeah. So you have things like collect coins in the fastest time possible, and you have to go through the first level of Mario Brothers collecting as many coins, and you get a high score, and it goes to a global leaderboard, blah, blah, blah. Nintendo have done that. They announced it as a digital copy, and then went, oh, by the way, we've got this special edition. And it's gorgeous. I think we got some pictures up there, Anto. That's the special edition coming out for the Switch.
Yeah, right. That does look pretty.
So it's a big box. It's got the game, a physical copy of the game. It's got collector cards. It's got some pins. So in the middle there are some pins, and it's got a golden NES cart, much like the golden carts that the NES competition carts originally came out on. However, it is a model only. There's no real game in there. Incidentally, those Nintendo competition carts go for hundreds of thousands of dollars
they're
now.
so valuable.
They are amazing. But then Japan has one as well. And you should see the Japan version. I believe we've got a picture up there as well, Anto, of the Japanese special edition. Look how
hang on.
gorgeous that is.
I'm going to do a thing, because
So-
there we go.
You can see on the right-hand side there, it comes with two of the Famicom Joy-Cons. So we got the NES controllers for Joy-Cons.
That's cool.
Comes with pins, comes with the physical copy of the game. And not only do they have cards of the original Famicom cards, but they've got the Famicom Disk System games there as well.
Yeah, it's so sick.
It's amazing. I don't know how I'm going to get my hands on it, but I will get my hands on it one day.
Actually, that's a good question. Arceus asked how many copies of the OG cart were released. Does anyone know?
Of the OG,
Like the original World
Yes.
Championship card.
there's not a lot
many.
of them. Anto can search that up while
Yep,
I
on it.
ramble on. So the normal physical edition and the digital copy, $50 each.
That's nothing.
Well, I mean, for digital, it's a bit pricey.
Mate, have you
have an
tried
answer
buying
to the
anything
question.
on place? What was it? For Spoken was $120.
Yeah, see, this is the prop. So Braden was talking about Dragon's Dogma, and he was raving about it. And I went, I do like D&D. Maybe I'll give it a go. I
You mean
actually
Baldur's
looked it
Gate?
up. Sorry?
Do you mean
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate.
Gate?
Baldur's Gate, sorry. Baldur's Gate, thank you. So Baldur's Gate. I went, maybe, if it's a reasonable price, I might give it a pearl. A pearl? Yeah, all right, sure. Hi, I'm Australian. And boom, it was like $115 or something. I went, nope.
Okay,
not
where
paying.
were you looking?
PlayStation Store.
Oh, yeah, you can only play it on PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation Network sucks eggs.
Doesn't? PSN's great. Shut up.
No, I'm not paying $115 for something I don't own.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
that's right.
renting something for $115.
See, yeah, 100%, that's rubbish. So I didn't pay anything like that on Steam. I did not pay $115. I paid like $60, $70.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben,
Yes.
how many digital games have you bought on Switch?
What ones where I've also bought the physical version or the?
I mean, irrespective of whether or not you've bought the physical, you've still paid for something that you don't technically own.
Correct. Yes, I have, but I then bought the physical version where possible. So, it's more I buy digital if it's either really really cheap or I previously owned it, or I like for example Pokemon. I will buy the physical ones for my collection, but then also buy the game digitally, one of the games digitally, so I can play it on launch day.
And the double pack, and the special editions.
Does your PlayStation have discs?
Yes.
Yes.
Why don't you buy it? Like, you can get Baldur's Gate 3 for like $80, $90 from JB Hi-Fi.
Well, I'm going to wait until it comes down to 50.
I've never seen it physically in Australia yet.
You haven't?
Nope.
Right.
I don't think it got a physical release. Like, Larian are doing a special physical edition that I know of, but
Yeah, it's like comes with a bunch of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, to go back to the previous question from Arceus.
So, technically speaking, there were 116 World Championship carts made.
Yep.
26 of those, thank you, Julian, were the gold ones.
Yep.
The other 90 were the grey copies that competitors were given at the end of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
right.
116, so they are worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, you salivate over the very idea of having one. I think there's one in Super Potato in Akihabara. It's in a case as you walk in the door to the main area. And it just says in English, not for sale. Last thing. All right.
Everything's got a dollar value, Ben.
We got to talk about it. Switch 2. So we had an announcement on X during the week from the president of Nintendo saying that before the annual investor meeting, that the Switch 2 or the next iteration of the Nintendo console family will be coming out before the end of the fiscal year, which is March 2025, end of March 2025.
Yep.
So that means anytime between now and then, Nintendo could announce the Switch 2 or the Super Switch. I hope they call it the Super Switch.
Do you know what I think is going to happen?
What?
I think we'll get their, standard direct around E3 time for all their current Switch stuff and whatnot. And then we'll get maybe around September the announcement for the next system. Yep. And it will release March 25.
See, I'm thinking it would be what you said, but I think the release will be November.
Interesting.
Right before Christmas.
Why do you think that?
Right before Christmas. Sorry, to answer Arceus in the chat, they've asked, speaking of Pokemon, does Ben think they'll do the GBA Pokemon games on the Virtual Console? No. Those games are never coming to the Virtual Console. I don't know why. Nintendo just doesn't want us to have nice things.
That sounds very Nintendo.
So to combat that, I can recommend a little app called Delta that you might want to look into if you have a smartphone. No reason, just look into it, and then just roam around the internet. Have a look at some things that you might be able to access from your smartphone after you've downloaded Delta, and you never know what you may come wrong.
I like it. I got it.
So other rumors for the Switch 2. Zach, we didn't ask your opinion. Switch 2, yay or nay? Are you for the Switch 2?
I'm not going to buy one, but the Switch was was very innovative and cutting edge for handhelds for its time. It's done really well. I am looking forward to a huge upgrade for the Switch 2. I was actually talking to my Discord group, my mod group, about it, and some of the specs that have possibly been leaked. By the looks, if any of that is true, it's going to be way more powerful than the Switch 1. So,
I think it will need to be.
Yeah, like it would need to be for sure. So yeah, it's not going to be Steam Deck level of good, but it's definitely going to be a huge improvement.
So a couple of rumors that have come out. Apparently magnetic Joy-Cons, which is bizarre to me.
What's wrong with the current system?
It just uses like a rail and a click system that has like a physical switch, what makes sense.
That's where they got that from.
Yeah. I think if they went with magnets, they would need to be not powerful enough to interfere with the system.
Mm-hmm.
So they would probably be looking at electromagnets, which are battery powered.
But I think the real problem is, like,
And if
no one
battery
thinks of
runs out,
Magneto.
it becomes a thing.
How's Magneto going to play the Switch 2?
Ben,
Shut up, Ben. Shut up,
Ben. I'm gonna blow your mind.
Oh,
Magneto's not real.
what do you mean?
He can't hurt you. It's
do you mean?
okay.
He wouldn't hurt me.
I mean,
We'd be fucking buddies. Me and Magneto, are you kidding? We
we
would.
both hate Nazis.
Yep. Both hate Nazis. Like, that's number one. Both hate bald men.
God damn it.
You just want to make sure you don't meet him while sitting in a chair. He might get confused.
Charles Burr.
Hey, incidentally, have either of you been watching X-Men 97?
No, because I only watched like 4 episodes of the original series as a kid, and I haven't ever gone back.
All right, so I'm not going to spoil anything, all right? Because I got yelled at in the Discord for doing that. But there is one line in there where Charles is like just monologuing at Magneto. Magneto just turns around and goes, Charles, I'm going to say 2 words to you I've always wanted to say. Shut up! Just slams metal over his face. It's like, yeah, fucking Magneto. He's my boy. He was right. He always is right. And yeah, Magneto was right.
Okay, so 2 things. One, Michael Towns with the good gags. You shall not pass, quoted Magneto. Love it.
Yep.
But more importantly, but Ben, you are a human. Magneto doesn't like humans.
Am I?
I mean,
According to some people in our Discord, I'm not.
I mean, you loosely qualify.
Very loosely. Jesus.
you've got. I'm not going to go there. You probably attack me.
No, not why Zach's here.
I was going to say you've got red hair, or
Well, not for much longer.
and to some people that means you don't have a soul. To have a soul is to be human. I think you could get away with it and be friends with Magneto.
I reckon. Me and him get along fine.
Remind me to send you some at-home workouts by this ginger fitness influencer. Everything's he has all these at-home workouts like stealing the souls, grabbing the gold. It is absolutely hilarious. I'm going to send it to you.
All right. Lastly, because we're running out of time because I'm rambling bullshit. How unlike me. It will be majorly underclocked, so it runs better and preserves the battery and doesn't get too hot in handheld mode. Obviously, they have some data that suggests that the Switch was primarily played in handheld. Yeah. Thoughts?
Look, I hope, I get, preserving batteries and stuff is good. I understand that, but I really hope they don't underclock it. Because the biggest issue the Switch ran into is the fact that the tech in it got so out of date so quickly that the games they were making weren't running. Anything that was a third-party developer for the Switch just was ass. So underclocking is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I mean, again, for a handheld, if I go back to the Stream Deck, 2 hours playtime on a handheld is not awful if you have decent processing power. But considering it's going to be not as powerful, if we get 3 hours, 3.5 hours as a handheld, I think that's going to be fine because most of the time it's going to be docked anyway.
Oh, mine's docked all the time because I don't really
Play it, yeah.
travel anywhere. It's Adelaide,
Yeah.
And to someone who doesn't have a car, did you undock your Switch?
Oh, I used my Switch portably all the time in the first sort of 4 or 5 years. I took it to work with me and, played it on breaks, played it in lunchroom.
Which is what Floppy does.
I play it on public transport, especially if it's, longer than sort of a 15, 20-minute journey. My opinion on the Switch 2 is similar to Zach. I think if they were to sort of heavily underclock or underpower the system when it's portable, you're sort of defeating the purpose of it being a hybrid system. If you're only going to let it sort of be at its best at home, they might as well scrap the concept and just make a decent home system. Which, traditionally, as we saw with the GameCube and Wii U, gamepad aside, making sort of a standard in line with competitor style system has never worked for them, ever. No. So, they've hit a very specific nail on the head with the Switch. If they divert from that, they need to come up with a very solid alternative Because if not, it loses the mass appeal that it has. I think realistically, with the way battery technology and processing power and stuff has sort of evolved in, the 8 years the system's been out, it shouldn't really be an issue. Like, if they were targeting 3, maybe 4 hours, shouldn't be an issue just to make it run as it does. But also, I'm not a software or hardware engineer, so I have no fucking idea.
Sorry, that was the producer of the show. He told me to wrap Anto up. So,
You always ask me things and then tell me my opinion's too long.
because it is.
But
It's
it
not.
isn't.
Shut up, Ben. I 100% agree with you. But the biggest issue is...
Hang on, why was the shut up, Ben, at the start of that sentence?
Shut up, Ben.
It's just like...
I know this is your show and all. But yeah, look, the Switch needs to be more powerful, which they're doing. But underclocking it to preserve battery is a terrible idea. Like, again, if you take it to work, you play it on the train, like 2.5, 3 hours should be more than enough time as a handheld. Like, you're gonna obviously, like, you're at work, you can charge it, like between breaks and whatnot. Like, if you, and if you're gonna be traveling for like extended period of time, like extended flights, you have battery banks and whatever else. Like, there are steps you can take. I really think that the processing power needs to be there.
If you're Magneto, you've got electromagnetic powers, which can charge batteries.
Shut up, Ben. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what they come up with.
Do you know what else you'd be interested in seeing what we come up with? Is a list that I prepared 2 weeks ago, but we haven't had time to do it, so we're going to quickly do it now in the 5 minutes we have remaining. Are we ready for speed run of this topic? Games that were more successful than you thought. So the basic premise of this is not that the games were bad, it's that they performed badly or didn't perform as the
Oh,
people...
no, there's definitely a few games on this list that were awful.
Oh, absolutely. However, the surprising thing is how well they performed, irrespective of how bad it was received. The first one here is Enter the Matrix.
I love this game.
Oh, you're like Braden as well. He's got a message here that says, "Fuck off, Ben. I loved this game as a kid."
Same. Enter the Matrix was so good. Who didn't watch the Matrix and think, gee, I would love to be able to bullet time and jump and leap and be Neo?
Well, the game was marketed to give further insight on certain subplots in The Matrix Reloaded. A ploy I'm sure we all fell for. This went hand in hand with the hype over the release of the new film. But the game itself was bad. It was rushed to release just before the movie. It had imprecise controls and a shoddy camera, and failed to emulate the bullet time or the badass fight choreography, which we can see on the screen here.
Look, I don't know, man. I remember this game feeling feeling fantastic. Like, there was this bit, I don't know why, but there was vampires. I don't know why, but they were in there.
Look at the pop-in!
Yeah, look, again, I didn't notice any of this as a kid. When I was playing this on GameCube, I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
I will very quickly make an addendum, I guess is the word. This is emulation, which is why it looks so awful.
No.
It's not being emulated well. It didn't look this bad on original.
Yeah, I don't remember any of this at all.
But also, I feel like people get this game confused with Path of Neo a lot, because Path of Neo was pretty good.
Yeah, I never played. I played like an hour of Path of Neo, but I played a lot of this. Yeah, this is not how this game ran at all.
So within a month, Enter the Matrix sold 2.5 million units, making it the fastest selling game in Atari's history.
Yeah, right.
It sold 5 million units in total.
Yeah, wow.
So it was a success. Irrespective of how it was received, it was a success.
But the game was way better than this. I don't know.
Oh,
what
man.
it is.
There was a Pentium 4 logo there. Do you know
Yeah.
at the moment there is a Pentium 2 up on Facebook Marketplace, and I am so tempted to buy it.
Oh, wow.
A Pentium 2. Oh,
100%. Yeah, I spent ages fighting Agent Smith here, man, or this agent. Absolutely, I spent ages can I beat him? You meant to run, but I'm like, nah.
and did you beat him?
No, not at all.
Well, if you like beating things, you may have liked, or not liked, Mortal Kombat versus the DCU. The game was responsible for me not playing Mortal Kombat games for a very long time.
Yeah, right.
I
never
played this game on Xbox 360. I bought it, played it, and was so disgusted. I just went, I'm done with Mortal Kombat for a while, and did not pick up another Mortal Kombat game until 11, I think. It was aimed for the younger audience, and a rumor that suggested DC insisted that none of their characters have fatalities performed on them. The signature violence of the Mortal Kombat games was toned down dramatically.
Gross.
As we're about to see here. Yep, Scorpion just got punched in the head with a novelty gun. However, it sold over 2 million units and was the most pre-ordered Mortal Kombat game ever at the time. According to GameStop, this fighting title made up 55% of the company's sales during the first week of its release.
Yeah, right.
So it was really hyped, but I think it's because people wanted to see Superman get his face ripped off.
Yeah. I don't like fighting games in general, but...
Oh, you're not a fighter?
How can you be into wrestling and martial arts and not like fighting games?
No, never been a fan of Mortal Kombat.
See, the thing is, Zach doesn't need to escape reality with fighting games, pretending that he can fight, because Zach can actually fight.
But you can't also wander around on the streets and deck people in real life.
If you wear a mask, you can.
Hey, with willpower, anything is possible.
Or a helmet, like our Lord
fair.
Magneto.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But yeah, I don't know. I've just never been a fan of, I like RPGs. I like open world exploration. I like survival games. Yeah, I've never been a Mortal Kombat. I remember playing a bunch of Tekken on the PS1 back in the day. But yeah, I don't know. Just never been my thing.
I mean, look, controversial opinion. Mortal Kombat kind of sucks, and Street Fighter is king.
That's not controversial at all. I'm all for that. Mortal Kombat are always playing catch-up, in my opinion. But anyway, apart from the storyline. The
storyline
cool.
was really cool
I mean, look,
from 9 onwards.
Yeah, and Street Fighter's story mode has never been particularly good, but gameplay-wise...
Oh, absolutely shats on it. Speaking of shatting on things, Star Wars. Battlefront 2.
Is this the latest one?
The newer Battlefront 2. I made sure I highlighted that.
Don't even get me started.
Not the excellent original from the PlayStation 2 era.
Oh, what a time that was.
EA was not even trying to hide the play-to-win mechanic, resulting in a revolt against the game from the consumers. When the US government officials got involved to determine whether the loot boxes constituted unlicensed gambling, the creators knew they screwed up big time and drastically reworked the system. But the damage had already been done. The scandal got so out of hand, EA's share prices plummeted, resulting in the loss of $3 billion in stock value.
Good.
Because
Suck an egg.
Battlefront 2 didn't make as much of as its predecessor and missed its sales targets. The infamous Star Wars follow-up has been branded as a failure. However, it still managed to sell 9 million copies. Because of the stock drop, the game did not make a profit, but that doesn't change the fact that Battlefront 2 did sell extremely well.
This could have been such a good thing. It's same as Ubisoft and For Honor. Like, again, a great PvP game with, like, awesome mechanics, and they just make it pay to win.
Yep.
Just, wow.
I still remember when it was coming out, and it was, at the time, Alana Pierce was on IGN, one of the PlayStation podcasts. I think it's whatever it's called, their PlayStation one. And she was the very first person I heard say, she legitimately just sat there and just said, look, I've played it. It's play to win. And they went, what? And she goes, it's a play to win game. And they sort of, they discussed it and backpedaled a bit, but she was staunch in her assessment that it was pay to win. Then it came out and all this controversy, and I just went, yeah, Alana Pierce freaking called it.
Mm-hmm.
Anto.
Hello.
You like Resident Evil 5?
I do. To clarify, the next game on the list is Resident Evil 5.
It's Resident Evil 5.
It was a good game. It was a great game. I played it co-op. It was
fantastic
great.
game.
So it's
I disagree that it's on this list.
All right, but it just means it underperformed. Look, because you and Braden both ganged up on me last show.
It didn't underperform. It was like the best-selling one in the series.
Where it all started to go wrong. It says so right here. Leading to the abomination that was Final Fantasy... Resident Evil 6. That was a Freudian slip. I did not mean that.
Sure it was.
I apologise.
Sure it was.
That was actually... No, that was a mistake.
Final Fantasy 6 was a bit meh.
Cheesy dialogue, focusing on bombastic action rather than survival horror, and of course, rock punching. Resident Evil 5 is still, for now, the most successful entry, selling 13.4 million units. It was also the most successful Capcom release for nearly 9 years until it was surpassed by Monster Hunter World. Now, I think, in my opinion, part of that is cashing in on the hype of 4. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I think 4 was such an absolute brilliant, stellar game changer that people were excited to see what number 5 had in store, and then they went and punched some rocks for a bit.
I remember enjoying this game. I don't think it was anywhere near as good as 4. 4 obviously because you had the mercenary mode. Obviously, you had the whole revamping of how Resident Evil worked with the combat and everything. And you obviously didn't get the same tension as you did in 4. But I didn't think it was a bad game at all. It's a bit dumb with the whole Wesker thing was a bit dumb, but
Well,
I
he's
had
a
fun.
giant mutant.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Do you know who else is a mutant?
Magneto.
That's right.
Counterpoint to this being where it started to go wrong. I think that's a complete exaggeration. Resident Evil 4 for some reason gets a pass for a lot of the bombastic action and whatever else has been written here.
Jeez, now attacking my writing. Holy
No,
crap.
not your writing specifically, just
No, that were my words, therefore my
I
writing.
don't care.
Shit, I'm just getting it from
So
everyone.
cast your minds back to the 2004 release of Resident Evil 4. You fight a lake monster,
It was great.
which was great, and, fine,
Sorry,
whatever.
Resident Evil 1, don't you fight a great white shark?
I don't remember.
You do, you fight a zombie shark in this.
Pretty sure there's an alligator and a giant snake and all sorts of other stuff in Resi 1. But yeah, so Resi 4, you fight big spider village chief man who has more things come out of his body than should be possible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I've seen some of Floppy's videos.
Lake monster, fine. Giant statue of a weird, Spanish Castellan king dude, which you just run away from, and it breathes fire out of its mouth for some
His name
reason.
is Greg.
The final villain of Resident Evil 4, again, turns into a thing that is completely unfeasible for a human body to contain that much, genetic material.
Not as from an alternate dimension.
It's not from an alternate dimension. It's science.
You weren't there.
Exactly,
science, an alternate dimension.
all of the criticism 5 gets for how it became an action game was because of Resident Evil 4. So the blame for whatever criticism it is should go to 4, but no one will do that because
honestly,
4 is too beloved.
Anto, you are correct. Final Fantasy... I did it again, I'm sorry. Resident Evil 4... No, this is... Honestly, I didn't mean to do that. Resident Evil 4 did come very far away from the Resident Evil... no, you're absolutely correct. Resident Evil doesn't get the
I say
backlash.
this having both the original Resi 4 and the remake in my top 10 games ever made.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right in that assessment.
See, that's
Steaming.
again. I 100% agree with you, but they did turn it up for 5 though.
Oh, I don't disagree, but it's not where the series went wrong,
I don't.
ever.
Yeah, I don't. I still think they captured. Obviously, the big bombast, the boss fights in 4 were awesome. The boss fights in 5 were awesome, but I feel that they still captured that horror survival aspect more in 4. And there was definitely a lot more. I felt a lot more tension in 4 than I did in 5. But that again. But I also love the fact that it was co-op too. That was fantastic.
Yeah, see, that's where I would sort of outweigh the loss of tension with Resident Evil 4. Because, 4 starts tense, but you pick up a shotgun, you get the Uzi, and you're done. From there, tension doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, co-op, absolutely the way to play 5. I'm going to shut up now.
Speaking of intense, you might want to grab your tent and go in it for this next game because you're going camping and playing Connect Adventures.
Fuck yeah.
So we all remember the Kinect, an intuitive way to use a human body as a way to control characters on screen, and not at all a desperate attempt to cash in on the Wii's success. The game contained only 5 minigames, with only 2 working correctly due to glitches.
I remember this being an absolute pile of crap.
But somehow this hunk of junk sold 24 million units, making it the most successful game on the Xbox 360. Incidentally, the Kinect was a scam.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know if we've got the video there, Anto, but if you watch this YouTuber who decided to test it, they went on the Kinect in a racing game, and they sat there like this.
Oh, I've seen this video.
And there was auto-steering.
Yeah.
What's
It does
this?
it all itself.
Yep. So it was 100% a scam that they tried to sell you. But you can look that up because we're running out of time, which is a good thing for you. There he is. See, the YouTuber's not turning at all, but the car is just making its way around the track.
Yeah, wow.
Zach,
Yes, sir.
what do you like to plug?
Oh, I like to plug myself on
Hey,
social media.
There you go.
Dino OnlyFans.
What are your pluggables? What are you?
All
what are
right,
you
so look up Zak_Sabbath. You'll most likely find me on anything. You can find me on X because apparently that's still a thing.
Not really.
My twitch.tv/Zak_Sabbath is probably the most important one. Find me on Instagram, and I even have a Facebook thing back when Facebook was relevant. So yeah, follow me on Twitch more and come have a good time. I don't stream on Friday, so you can still hang out with Ben.
That's
and the
right.
rest of the crew.
And you can also catch Zach at RCW.
Oh yeah, should probably plug them too. So look up Riot City Wrestling in YouTube, and you'll see a plethora of my matches as well as a bunch of others. We are definitely at the forefront of pro wrestling in Australia, in my opinion.
Oh,
and it's
I'd
only
say
getting better.
Australia. The whole Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, we I haven't updated. Oh yeah, that's my latest thing of my wife going to Japan.
Yeah, and there was a very nice post actually you wrote as she got on the plane for her to.
Yeah,
be
I didn't
welcome
do
to.
it while she was around because she'd beat me.
She would. She's very
So
scary.
yeah, actually, the fourth post down is the fifth one. Oh damn, you have to log in. So yeah, that is the outcome from the powerlifting, my first powerlifting comp that I did. That fifth one.
Yes,
yeah.
how'd that go? Very well.
I came third overall in an open weight, which is pretty good.
Awesome. Congrats.
I got a new PR on squat, so I'm 190 kilo squat.
Excellent.
That was a 10 kilo increase. I failed my PR attempts on bench and deadlift. Unfortunately, I did try deadlift 240 kilos though.
Jesus Christ, man.
And I got off the ground, but then I should have just threw caution to the wind, but I felt my lower back load up and instinct told me to put it down where I really should have just gone helter skelter and ripped it up. I'm still mad thinking about it. I'm laying in bed going, I should have just pulled harder.
Pop those vertebrae.
That's
Screw
right.
them. You don't
Shoot
need
those
them.
discs across the room, take it a small child.
That's right.
But it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. I even convinced old mate Redshaw, who was coaching me, to sign up for the next one.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I came third overall.
Congrats.
Almost came second. If I got my deadlift, I would have come second.
Speaking of coming second, Anto. You want to plug something in the yeah? Just go with it. That's what she said. Do you want to quickly plug something for the 2 minutes we have before Zach has to disappear?
Yes, final_Fantosi. It's my Instagram account. I do Final Fantasy and video game collection stuff. Haven't updated stuff from a toy fair just yet. My home office is a mess and honestly haven't really had the motivation. But I got some new stuff at the toy fair, so I will be putting that up soonish.
If you would like to see what Anto got, there's a video releasing on Super Retro Squad with starring Anto and the Dinos as we walk around the Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair finding bargains and retro goodies. That'll actually be up as we are recording tomorrow. So by the time you're seeing this, it'll be up and you can watch it over on youtube.com backslash
Super
Retro Squad or
Speaking of
on
them.
Instagram or anything like that. Yeah, Super Retro Squad. It's where me and Ghost Games, Julian, head out, go around, find some cool things and pay money for those cool things. It's a great time,
I'm
honestly.
glad you found stuff for yourself, Anto, at the Comic and Toy Fair. I found nothing for me, eh?
No.
I was
There
super
wasn't
bummed.
a huge amount of stuff there for me, but the stuff I did find, perfect.
Speaking of finding, you better find yourself a way to end this show because Zach has to leave. So
That's
Thanks
all
for coming,
I'm
Zach.
good. I don't start work till 10. I got like an hour and it only takes me 25 minutes to get home at this time of night. So we're all good.
sweet, we're having a party. Let's go!
Bye! Oh, fuck.